It's another beautiful day.
It's a little gloomy. Not even just in here, outside too.
It's another gloomy day.
We had the grand idea, not we. Angie had the great idea of, kind of got stuck on the boathouse, so let's go inside and start on the bathroom. We've got the dumpster.
Well, we had a problem with the boathouse. The stove was blowing the breaker, and so we had to call an electrician in to put in a bigger breaker. Well, in order to do that, we called him in, and he had to rewire it. So we had to tear the countertop off.
Yes.
And take out the sink to get to the wire. And then he had to rewire it, put a new breaker, put a new outlet, put a new plug, and do all that. So that took like 4 or 5 days to get him coming in back and forth
because he didn't have the right parts. So
we kind of lost our ambition in the boathouse because we didn't know what else he would have to be done when he got in there, being that, the wiring was existing. We didn't know if he was going to call out some codes and make us do things. So we we abandoned that for a while. And we came into the house and decided that we were going to remodel the master bathroom. So we got some quotes on it, and it was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
So we said, well, let's start tearing it apart and let's see what we have. So it was
terrible.
It was a lot.
I mean, you can see here, like, the thickness of just, like, the mastic and the tile and the drywall.
This tile weighs so much, it's like natural stone, and it weighs like 10 pounds per chunk.
Per little thing, like right here. Oh, yeah. And they glued it to the plywood. And we finally figured out how to get it off in like big sheets, but then the problem is it comes off in big sheets.
Well, we got the shower torn out, and we noticed all this mold and mildew down here. And we thought, well, that's strange because it's all on the bottom. Granted, that's where the water is going to hit it a lot, but it's really strange.
Yeah.
So we kind of got to that point, and the next day after we tore this out, we had huge rainfalls.
Yeah, a lot of rain.
All day. It just poured down. We were getting some flooding into the basement again, this time in a new place. I'll show you that later. But so we go in here, like we get in here at night, and all of a sudden we see where it's a little damp on the bottom of the shower floor. There's a little bit of just dampness down there. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, that's really strange. Well, we figured out that it was leaking in the roof, through the roof, down through the wall. You can kind of see some water damage on the wall there.
Yeah.
And leaking, going down the bottom of the shower. So that's the cause of all the mold. So now we have a roof leak. Not only that, but it was pouring so much. I mean, I bet it rained 4 inches.
Oh gosh, yeah, at least.
And the water was pouring off the gutters.
The gutters couldn't even catch it. It was just shooting off of there. Water.
So we come out and we notice that the skylight up here, of course, is leaking. And the other skylight in the other room is leaking. And it's causing water to drip down on the tile, which is then soaking into the floor.
And going to the basement.
And leaking in the basement. So we've got to get that fixed. And it looks like the roof, what they did is they had asphalt or a tile roof on there. Yeah, or shingles.
Yeah, shingles, yeah.
And they put new shingles over the old shingles. And then they put a metal roof over those shingles when they went bad. So it's been roofed 3 times, but nobody's taken off the previous.
And the problem is they never fixed then the leak problem. They just
and there's no rubber bladder under the metal. They just put a metal flashing on top, and it's not handling the water. So any type of corner or anything, apparently the water's leaking through there. So it looks like we're going to need to get a new roof.
Yep.
How much that's going to cost, we don't know. If we can even find somebody to do it, probably going to cost us $100,000, probably.
Yeah, and didn't have any house leaks when they sold it, apparently.
So also, we had these columns. The columns look like this.
Yep.
And they were they were big and obtrusive.
They're blocking, so.
So Angie took it upon herself to tear the columns out of here because they were there's one right in the middle of our bar. And then there's one right here, and we were always hitting our feet on them. So she got the bright idea to tear these out. Well, now we have
sadness.
huge.
So now I have to find a way to craft something to cover up said holes.
So we got to cover. We were going to make them square anyway.
Yeah.
So now we've got to deal with this situation. On top of the roof leak and the basement leaks.
Because this was before any of that leaking, so.
Yeah, so down into the dungeon we go again.
Yeah.
Actually the places that we fixed down here
We're fixed.
were pretty successful.
Yep.
We managed to get the water away from this round room here. And the door hasn't been leaking really. There was a little bit of moisture in that corner over there, just a little bit. The wall was a little bit moist, but it wasn't too bad.
No.
The room over here where we've got the steamer trunk, this was supposed to be the safe room.
Yeah, this was supposed to be the safe room where no water was supposed to be.
Because we had never had a leak in here before, and it looked like it had been dry. But unfortunately, so we had all of our stuff in here.
Yep.
And all of our important stuff we had in here stacked up in this whole room. We said, this is the safe room. Well, we come down here
at 2 o'clock in the morning.
There's water just pouring down these walls. It was all the way down here. You can see the water.
It was just like.
It was in this place. We took out like 200 gallons of water.
200 gallons of water.
And
we finally, because I have a little shampooer that we used to just clean the floor and I shampoo it up. It worked great, and I started using that. Well, that only holds like a gallon of water. I mean. We had to get the big shot back.
So when Angie's bad, I'm going to put her in this dungeon, wait for it to rain, and it'll flood her out.
I will.
So, we had a little water leakage here, but I think there's a tube that runs up to the ceiling. There's a vent tube where they used to have gas, like a gas vent tube.
Yeah.
And they left the vent tube in.
Oh, where is it?
Right up here. So there's water dripping out of there because it's coming down from the ceiling.
Yeah, from the roof, so.
I may just cap that off or something.
We'll
see. But this area here, this was the source of the big major leaks that we had. We had just a little bit of water finally at the end of the night.
Finally, it started
come down through here.
Yep.
And that was because our drain tube outside was not big enough.
Yep.
So I went out there in the rain, and
you could see it. It was
you could see the water pouring out of the drain tube in the ground. Because it just couldn't keep up. It was only a 4-inch tube.
Yep, and it should have been 6.
Because we have two downspouts feeding into that.
And a lot of water. The majority of all the water from the roof goes in there.
It would keep up on a normal rain.
Yes. Yeah.
But a heavy rain?
It has.
No way.
And part of the reason it started leaking in that the safe room was we figure that they don't have the gutters out.
Oh, well, okay, so that brings up the next thing.
Yeah. This was a great surprise.
A month or two ago, we had our dog fence installed here. And the guy came in and installed it.
It's still standing.
Seemingly a good job. But when I was pouring out, we noticed that this downspout, the water was shooting out of it and overflowing the drain, which had never happened before. It had always gone through that drain pipe. Well, the drain pipe's supposed to be right along the fence line. So we took a hose and we put it in there and ran it for a while, and we noticed that all the water, instead of flowing out into the lake, which the drain tube comes out into the lake, it comes out right here.
It is gushing out here because I walk by and I'm like, this ground is really mushy here.
So the idiot drilled down through the drain pipe
and didn't tell anyone,
and stuck the fence post in there and cemented it. So now we got to dig that up and
fix that.
Yeah, we got to do that. So
Saki's all happy. Good boy. Look at you. Such a good boy.
At least he's enjoying his fun.
He loves his area. Yeah, you're a good boy.
So
so our dumpster.
Well, the drainage out in front here that we fixed, that actually worked. We haven't had any more water come in here.
No, we haven't.
We sealed it up all along the bottom. We put some foam in the siding there. Well, it doesn't look pretty for right now.
Hey, it keeps it dry.
It actually worked.
Yep.
So we don't have to rebuild these steps.
No.
Which is a good thing.
Yep.
So then we had the dumpster guy come in and remove this big dumpster that we had out in our front yard.
And which he's done many times before.
Yep. And he called you the next day, right?
Well, no, about an hour after he was gone.
Hour out here. He said,
hey, because it was still raining, it was icky out, so I didn't go out and look right away. He's like, hey, do I need to send a guy over tomorrow and maybe fix up your yard? I'm like, huh? I'm like, well, let me go out and take a look at it and let you know.
okay, are you ready for this?
Are you guys ready? Look at this. Look at it. I mean, okay, that's not even the bad one. Here's over here. So the neighborhood kids have been now using them as jumps up the end of the driveway.
The neighborhood kids have their bikes out here.
Yeah, they're using them.
Are using it as a jump. So, and there used to be really nice grass here too.
Yeah, it was probably the best grass we had in the whole yard.
So this is our lawn. Here, smile for the camera, Ange. That's our lawn.
My snowman's more happy.
Yes. And of course that was after 2 days of lawn work. We were doing lawn work, like picking up all the old pine needles from the trees we had. We had a half dumpster filled up with pine needles.
The pine needles
because there were so many
I think
pine
they
needles.
were 30 years old. We're like, these have been here forever.
Yeah. But that's our fun.
For now.
So what we have to do, we have to figure out some drainage for the outside to keep the water out of the basement. We got to figure out what we're going to do with the roof, and we still have windows that we need to be replaced. The good thing is the boathouse was not leaking.
No,
there was actually no water in the boathouse at all.
Yeah.
So that was fortunate. In the meantime, we're furnishing the house a little bit. We got our Christmas decorations down, and we're trying to figure out how to get a hot tub into this area out here. Hot tubs weigh about 1,000 pounds empty.
And
so
it's just two of us.
So while we did carry the 300-pound exercise equipment upstairs successfully, I think 1,000-pound hot tub might be beyond our reach.
I think it is.
But we'll see how that goes. That's our next purchase, I think, because
if we're going to do all this work, we need somewhere to relax.
We've been doing some pretty hard work. Our bodies are going to give up on us pretty quickly. And we were planning on getting a hot tub anyway. We just didn't know where to put it.
But I think up there would be really
But the
nice.
porch seems to be the best spot because it's all screened in. I just spent a whole day cleaning all the mold and mildew and everything off that porch. It still needs cleaning, but it's been a job. And then the roof leaks. We're not sure how many leaks are in the roof. We know both the skylights are leaking.
Yep, and then to that bathroom.
And then the bathroom area. But as far as the rest of it, I would assume there's some more leaks around here. We just
have to wait for them to show their faces.
Yeah. So we were kind of deflated. We've put a hold on all of our remodeling for now.
Because it's so...
And we're...
Just kick us when we're down.
We're trying to get quotes. We've got a water softener to install here today. And, but the rest of it, I don't know. It's
overwhelming.
Yeah, it is. It's a little overwhelming at this point, but we're going to do it eventually. We just have to get this water thing fixed ASAP. That's the only thing that we're really in need of quickly.
Yeah.
Everything else can kind of wait. The guest house would probably have to wait for a little while too, until we get everything situated in here first. So that's our update, but...
it wasn't a good one, but...
No, sorry.